The morning sun rose over 7 like it did every other day. The light was orange and warm. It touched the glass towers of New Sol, the largest human colony outside of Earth. Children ran through the streets on their way to school. Workers walked to their jobs. Families sat together and ate breakfast. It was a normal day. Nobody knew it would be the last. Ambassador stood on her balcony and watched the city wake up. She held a cup of tea in her hands. Her daughter was inside getting ready for school. Her husband was making breakfast. Could hear them laughing about something. She smiled. Life was good here. The colony had grown so much in the past 20 years. 80,000 humans now called this world home. Worked for the Galactic Council. Her job was to keep peace between humans and the other species. It was not easy work. Many aliens did not trust humans. They thought humans were too aggressive, too emotional, too dangerous. Spent her days trying to prove them wrong. She wanted to show that humans could be good partners, good neighbors, good friends. Her communicator beeped. She looked at the message. It was from the council headquarters. Another meeting about trade routes. Another argument about borders. She sighed. The syndicate was causing problems again. They were a powerful group of aliens who controlled many star systems. They did not like humans. They said humans were expanding too fast, taking too much space. They wanted humans to stop growing. Finished her tea and went inside. Was eating cereal. She was 12 years old with her mother's eyes and her father's smile. Was reading the news on his tablet. He looked up when entered. "Another meeting?" he asked. "Always another meeting," said. She kissed his cheek. Then she hugged. "Be good at school today." "I'm always good," said with a grin. Laughed. She grabbed her bag and walked to the door. She turned back one last time to look at her family, waved, was already back to her cereal, stepped outside and closed the door behind her. She never saw them alive again. The ships came without warning. They dropped out of faster-than-light travel right above the colony. There were hundreds of them, big warships with weapons that glowed red. They did not send a message. They did not make demands. They just started shooting. The first blast hit the center of the city. The explosion was massive. Buildings fell. Fire spread everywhere. People screamed and ran, but there was nowhere to go. The ships kept firing. Again and again. They targeted homes, schools, hospitals, everything. Was in her transport when the attack started. The vehicle shook as explosions rocked the ground. She looked out the window and saw her world dying. Smoke filled the sky. The glass towers were falling. She screamed for the driver to turn around, to go back home, but the roads were blocked. Everything was chaos. She tried to call, no answer. She tried to call school, no answer. She tried again and again, nothing, just static, just silence. The attack lasted for 3 hours. When it was over, New Sol was gone, just fire and ash and broken stone. 80,000 people had lived there that morning. By afternoon, there were less than 2,000 survivors. Most of them were people who had been outside the city when the attack started. People like. She searched for her family for days. She walked through the ruins with other survivors. She looked at every body. She checked every shelter. She called their names until her voice was gone, but she never found them, and were gone like so many others, just gone. The news spread across human space like wildfire. Every human world heard about the massacre. People cried. People raged. People demanded answers. What had they done to deserve this? Why had they attacked? Why had no one warned them? The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Representatives from 100 different species gathered in the Great Hall. Was there too. She had not slept in days. Her eyes were red. Her hands would not stop shaking, but she had to be there. She had to speak for her people, for her family. The representative stood before the council. His name was Lord. He was tall and thin with gray skin and black eyes. He showed no emotion as he spoke. He said the attack was justified. He said humans had been warned to stop expanding. He said they had ignored the warnings. He said this was the consequence. The humans were in our territory, said. They were told to leave. They refused. We had no choice. Stood up, her voice cracked as she spoke. 7 was not in your territory, it was neutral space. The council itself approved the colony. We broke no laws, we threatened no one, and you killed 80,000 innocent people. Looked at her with cold eyes. They were not innocent, they were invaders. The chamber erupted in noise. Some representatives shouted at, others shouted at. The speaker of the council called for order. It took several minutes for everyone to calm down. Then the council voted, watched with hope. Surely they would punish surely they would demand justice, surely they would do something. But they did nothing. The vote was close. Many species wanted to act against but more species were afraid. They were powerful, they had many allies. A war with them would be costly, so the council decided to call the massacre a border dispute. They said both sides shared the blame. They said the best thing to do was move forward, forget the past, maintain peace. Could not believe what she was hearing. She stood frozen as the speaker read the decision. Her people had been murdered, her family had been killed, and the council was going to do nothing. They were going to let the walk away. She looked around the chamber. She saw representatives from species she had spent years helping, species she had called friends. They would not meet her eyes. They looked at the floor. They looked at their tablets. They looked anywhere but at her. Lord smiled. It was a small smile, a knowing smile, the smile of someone who had won. He nodded as he walked past her. Perhaps your people will learn their place now, he said quietly. Did not respond. She could not. The words would not come. She just stood there as the chamber emptied around her. She stood there until she was alone. Then she fell to her knees and wept. Back on Earth, people watched the council's decision. They watched in their homes, in their offices, in their schools. They watched and they could not believe it. The galaxy had turned its back on them. Their dead meant nothing. Their grief meant nothing. They were alone. Admiral Ho was one of those people watching. He was the commander of Earth's defense fleet. He was 60 years old with gray hair and tired eyes. He had served in the military for 40 years. He had seen many terrible things, but this was different. This was his people, his species, his family in a way. He turned off the screen. He sat in silence for a long time. Then he picked up his communicator and called his officers, all of them, every ship commander, every fleet admiral, every soldier who served under him. Come home, he said. All of you come home now. They asked why. They asked what was happening. He did not explain. He just repeated the order. Come home, come home, come home. Within days, every human ship in the galaxy was moving toward Earth. Trade ships, exploration vessels, military cruisers, all of them. They left their posts. They abandoned their missions. They flew home as fast as they could. The aliens noticed. Of course they noticed. The council sent messages asking what was happening. Human allies asked if they could help. Human enemies watched with nervous eyes, but the humans did not respond. They just kept flying home. And then Earth went dark. All communication stopped. All broadcasts ended. The planet that had always been so loud, so busy, so full of life went completely silent. No one knew what was happening inside. No one knew what the humans were planning. No one knew anything. The galaxy waited. Days passed, then weeks, then months. The silence continued. Some thought the humans had given up. Some thought they were mourning. Some thought they were dying. Lord laughed when he heard about it. They are hiding, he told his generals. Like the scared animals they are. They know they cannot fight us. They know they are weak. Let them hide. Let them be forgotten. But was not hiding. She was not mourning. She was not giving up. She was on Earth now. She was in a room with Admiral Ho and the other leaders of humanity. They were planning, preparing, building. How long? Asked. 6 months, Ho said, maybe less. Nodded, she looked at the map on the wall. It showed every world, every ship, every weakness. Good, she said. Her voice was different now. The grief was still there. But there was something else too, something cold, something hard, something that scared even her. "When we are ready," she said, "they will learn what happens when you hurt humanity." The others nodded. They all felt the same thing, the same anger, the same need for justice, the same hunger for revenge. Earth stayed dark. The galaxy forgot about humanity. Life went on. They celebrated their victory. The council moved to other business. Everyone assumed the human story was over. They were wrong. The human story was just beginning. And when it continued, the galaxy would never be the same again. 6 months had passed since Earth went dark. The galaxy had moved on. The syndicate grew stronger every day. Lord had been promoted for his victory at 7. He was now the high commander of all forces. His people loved him. They called him the tamer of humans, the one who had shown the galaxy that humans were nothing to fear. The Galactic Council barely mentioned humans anymore. There were other problems to deal with: trade disputes, territory arguments, the usual business of running a galaxy. The massacre at 7 became old news, a footnote in history, something that had happened and was now over. But inside the darkness of Earth, something was happening, something terrible, something beautiful, something that would change everything. Admiral Ho stood in the command center of the largest military base on the planet. Screens covered every wall. They showed ships being built, weapons being tested, soldiers being trained. Everything was happening at once. Everything was moving fast, faster than anyone thought possible. "Report," Ho said. A young officer named stepped forward. She was 25 years old with short black hair and sharp eyes. She had lost her parents at 7. Now she worked 18 hours a day to make sure others would not suffer the same fate. "Fleet production is ahead of schedule," she said. "We have finished 300 new warships. 200 more will be ready by next month." Ho nodded. "Weapons. The new plasma cannons are working perfectly. They are 3 times more powerful than anything they have. We have also completed the shadow drives." Ho raised an eyebrow. "The shadow drives work?" "Yes, sir. We tested them yesterday. Our ships can now travel in complete darkness. No energy signature, no heat trail, nothing. We will be invisible until we choose not to be." This was important, very important. They had the best sensors in the galaxy. They could detect ships from light years away. But now human ships could slip past those sensors like ghosts in the night. They would never see them coming. In another part of the base was training, not as a diplomat anymore. Those days were over. She had spent the last 6 months learning how to fight, how to shoot, how to kill. Her hands were rough now. Her body was strong. Her eyes were cold. A trainer named watched her practice. He was a former soldier who had served for 30 years. He had never seen anyone learn so fast, moved through the combat course like water. She hit every target. She avoided every trap. She finished in record time. "Good," said. "Very good." Wiped sweat from her face. "Not good enough again." She ran the course again, and again, and again. She did not stop until her legs gave out. Even then she wanted to continue, but made her rest. "You cannot fight if you break yourself," he said. "I cannot rest while they live," replied. Understood, he had lost people too. Everyone had lost people. The entire planet was united by grief, by anger, by the burning need for revenge. It was a powerful force, more powerful than any weapon. In the factories, workers built ships around the clock. There were no breaks, no holidays, no complaints. Everyone worked because they wanted to work, because they needed to work. Every ship they built was a promise that the dead would not be forgotten, a promise that justice would come. Old Man worked in one of these factories. He was 70 years old, too old for military service, but not too old to help. He welded metal plates together for 12 hours every day. His back hurt, his hands ached, but he never stopped. His grandson had died at 7, a boy of 8 years old, kept a picture of him in his pocket. Every time he felt tired, he looked at that picture. Then he went back to work. "This is for you," he whispered to the picture. "This is for all of you." The scientists worked just as hard. In secret laboratories, they created weapons that had never existed before, things the galaxy had never seen, things that would terrify even the bravest soldiers. Doctor led one of these teams. She was a physicist who had spent her life studying peaceful uses for energy. Now she used that knowledge for war. She had invented a bomb that could destroy an entire city in seconds, a weapon so terrible that even she was afraid of it. "Is it ready?" Ho asked her one day. "Yes," she said quietly. "But Admiral, this weapon, it is not like other bombs. The destruction will be complete. Nothing will survive, nothing will remain." "Good," Ho said. "That is exactly what we need." Looked at him with worried eyes. "We are scientists. We create, we discover. We are not supposed to destroy." Ho put his hand on her shoulder. "They killed our children. They burned our homes. They laughed while our people screamed. Now we will show them what destruction really means." Nodded slowly. She understood. She did not like it, but she understood. The training camps were full of volunteers. Millions of people wanted to fight, young and old, men and women, rich and poor. Everyone wanted to be part of the revenge. Everyone wanted to help make the pay. Commander was in charge of the special forces. She was 40 years old with scars on her face and fire in her heart. She had been a soldier for 20 years. She had fought in small wars and big wars, but this was different. This was personal. She trained her soldiers hard, harder than anyone had ever been trained before. She pushed them until they broke. Then she helped them put themselves back together. She made them stronger, faster, deadlier. "You are not just soldiers," she told them one night. "You are the hand of justice. You are the voice of the dead. You are the nightmare that they will never wake up from." Her soldiers cheered. They believed her. They believed in the mission. They believed in revenge. Meanwhile, the galaxy continued to ignore them. They sent scouts to check on Earth from time to time, but they saw nothing. The shadow technology hid everything. The scouts reported that Earth was quiet, dark, probably dying. Lord received these reports with pleasure. "They have given up," he told his advisors. "They know they cannot defeat us. They are waiting to die. Let them wait. We have more important things to do." He was wrong, so very wrong. Inside the command center, Ho met with his top officers every day. They planned every detail of the attack, every ship movement, every target, every possible outcome. They left nothing to chance. "We cannot just attack randomly," Ho explained. "We must be precise, we must be efficient, we must be terrifying." "What do you mean?" one officer asked. "They think they are safe. They think their empire is too big, too strong. We will show them that nowhere is safe. We will hit them where they least expect it. We will destroy them piece by piece until there is nothing left." The plan was simple but brutal. First, they would attack the outer colonies, small targets that they would not protect well. They would destroy these colonies completely. No survivors, no mercy. Then they would move inward, bigger targets, stronger defenses. It did not matter. They would destroy everything. And at the end, they would come for the itself. Was in these meetings too. She was not a soldier, she was not an officer, but Ho wanted her there. She represented something important. She was the face of their pain, the symbol of what they had lost, and what they would avenge. "When do we start?" she asked one day. Ho looked at the calendar. 2 more weeks. The fleet will be ready by then. 2 weeks, 14 days. After 6 months of preparation, it was almost time. Felt something stir inside her. Not happiness. Happiness was gone, but satisfaction. The cold satisfaction of knowing that soon they would pay. On the last night before the attack, Ho spoke to the entire planet. His face appeared on every screen. His voice came from every speaker. Everyone stopped what they were doing to listen. "My fellow humans," he said, 6 months ago, our world changed, our people were murdered, our families were taken from us, and the galaxy did nothing. They called it a border dispute. They told us to move on. They forgot about us." He paused, his eyes were hard. "But we did not forget. We could never forget. Every day for the past 6 months we have worked, we have built, we have prepared, not for peace, not for negotiation, for revenge." Across the planet people stood. Their hearts beat faster. They felt the power of his words. "Tomorrow we begin. Tomorrow they will learn what it means to hurt humanity. They will learn that we do not forgive. We do not forget. We do not stop until justice is done." His voice rose. "They thought we were weak. They thought we would hide. They thought we would accept our place at the bottom of the galaxy. They were wrong, dead wrong." He took a deep breath. "Tomorrow, the hunt begins, and it will not end until every who participated in the massacre is dead, until every leader who approved the attack is gone, until the galaxy understands that you do not touch human families and survive." The broadcast ended. Silence fell across the planet. Then, slowly, people began to cheer. The sound grew louder and louder. It spread from city to city, from home to home, a roar of rage and hope and determination. In her small room, looked at a photo of and she touched their faces gently. "Soon," she whispered, "soon they will pay for what they did to you, I promise." She put the photo away and picked up her weapon. She checked it carefully, made sure it was ready. Then she walked outside to join her unit. The sun was setting over Earth, but tomorrow it would rise on a galaxy that had never seen anything like what was coming. The humans were ready. The fleet was ready. The revenge was ready. The hunt was about to begin. The first attack came without warning. The outpost on Nexus 4 was a small military base. It had 200 soldiers and 50 ships. They were not expecting any trouble. They were playing games, eating dinner, living their normal lives. Then the humans arrived. Commander led the strike team. Her ship dropped out of shadow drive right above the outpost. The sensors did not detect anything. The shadow technology was working perfectly. By the time the aliens realized something was wrong, it was already too late. "All teams move in," ordered. 20 human ships attacked at once. Their new plasma cannons tore through the defenses like paper. The shield generators exploded. The communication towers fell. The barracks burned. In less than 10 minutes, the entire outpost was destroyed. Watched from her ship as the flames spread, she felt nothing. No guilt, no joy, just cold purpose. This was justice. This was revenge. This was what had to be done. "Report," she said. "All targets eliminated," her second-in-command replied. "0 human casualties." "Good, leave the marker and move to the next target." The marker was important. Every attack site would have won. It was a simple metal pole with words written in every galactic language. The words were the same everywhere. They were ours. This is for them. They found the marker the next day. They also found the ruins of their outpost and the bodies of their soldiers, every single one dead. Not one survivor left to tell what had happened. Lord received the news with confusion. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Our sensors detected nothing. No ships, no energy signatures, nothing." "We do not know, my lord," his advisor said nervously. "It is like they appeared from nowhere." "Humans cannot do this. They do not have this technology." "Perhaps they developed it during their silence." Slammed his fist on the table. 6 months. They were silent for 6 months and we did nothing. We should have attacked them then. We should have finished them when we had the chance. But it was too late for regrets. The humans were already hitting their next target. The second attack came 12 hours later. A supply station in the system. 300 workers, gone in minutes. The marker left behind. The third attack came 6 hours after that. A mining colony, 500 workers, gone, the marker. The fourth attack, the fifth, the sixth, They came faster and faster. The humans were everywhere and nowhere. They struck without warning and disappeared like ghosts. They could not track them, could not predict them, could not stop them. In 1 week, the humans destroyed 47 installations. Over 10,000 were dead, and the humans had not lost a single soldier. The galaxy watched in shock. This was not the humanity they knew. The humans they remembered were soft, emotional, weak. These humans were something else entirely. These humans were terrifying. Commander became known as the Ghost. The soldiers feared her name. They said she could walk through walls, that she could kill with a look, that she was not human at all but some kind of demon sent to punish them. Did not care about the stories. She cared about the mission, about the targets, about making the pay for every life they had taken. Her team was the best. 50 soldiers who had trained for 6 months straight. They knew each other perfectly. They moved as one. They thought as one. They killed as one. Sergeant Minu was her right hand. He was a young man who had lost his entire family at 7. His parents, his sisters, his wife and newborn daughter, all gone. Now he poured all his pain into the mission. "Commander," he said one night after a successful attack, "do you think this is enough? Will this bring them back?" Looked at him with understanding eyes. "No," she said honestly, "nothing will bring them back. But this is not about bringing them back. This is about making sure it never happens again. This is about teaching the galaxy that humans are not to be hurt." Minu nodded slowly. "Then we keep fighting." "We keep fighting." They tried to fight back. They sent their best ships to hunt the human fleet, but they could not find them. The shadow drives made the human ships invisible. They searched and searched but found only empty space. They tried setting traps. They left weak targets undefended, hoping the humans would attack and get caught. But the humans were smarter than that. They had spies. They had information. They knew which targets were real and which were traps. They tried negotiating. They sent messages to Earth offering peace, offering money, offering territory, but Earth did not respond. Earth was still dark, still silent, still terrifying. Admiral Ho commanded the fleet from a secret location. He watched every attack through satellite feeds. He planned every strike with perfect precision. He was playing a game of chess, and they did not even know the rules. "They are panicking," he said to his officers one day. "Their people are scared. Their military is confused. Their government is falling apart. Good. This is exactly what we wanted." "How long do we continue?" an officer asked. "Until they have nothing left. Until they understand what they did. Until they feel the same pain we felt." Was in the field now. She had joined one of the strike teams, Knott's team, a different one led by Captain. They focused on military targets, bases where the soldiers who had attacked 7 were stationed. Her first mission was hard, not because of the fighting was easy. They fell quickly. It was hard because of what came after, looking at the bodies, knowing she had killed them, knowing she had become something she never thought she would be. But then she remembered Smile's laugh, the way they had looked at her that last morning, and the hardness returned, the cold returned, the purpose returned. "They chose this," she told herself. "They killed our families, they started this war, we are just finishing it." On one mission, she found an officer hiding in a closet. He was shaking with fear. His eyes were wide. His hands were raised. "Please," he begged, "please do not kill me. I have children, I have a family." Looked at him for a long moment. She thought about showing mercy for just a second. Then she remembered that the soldiers at 7 had begged too. The children had begged. The families had begged. And they had killed them anyway. "So did we," she said. She pulled the trigger. News of the attack spread across the galaxy. Every species was talking about it. Some were scared. If the humans could do this to them, they could do it to anyone. Others were impressed. They had never seen such efficient revenge, such perfect justice. The Galactic Council held emergency meetings. They argued about what to do. Some wanted to stop the humans. Others wanted to let them continue. After all, they had started this war. They had killed 80,000 innocent people. Perhaps they deserved what was happening to them. Lord addressed the council. He demanded help. He said the humans were criminals, terrorists, monsters. He said the galaxy must unite against them. But the council remembered something. They remembered that 6 months ago had stood in this same chamber and called the massacre at 7 a border dispute. They remembered that he had smiled when the humans cried. They remembered that he had walked away with no punishment. "You asked for this," one representative said bluntly. "You poked a sleeping giant. Now you are surprised that it woke up angry." His face turned dark with rage. "You will regret this. When the humans are done with us, they will come for you. They will come for everyone." "Perhaps," the representative replied. "But that is a problem for tomorrow. Today, you face the consequences of your actions alone." The council voted to do nothing. Again. This time it was the who were left without help. The irony was not lost on anyone. Back in the field, the attacks continued. Bigger targets now, more important targets, military headquarters, government buildings, weapons factories. Nothing was safe from the human ghost fleet. Commander led the biggest attack yet. A military base with 5,000 soldiers, the largest remaining base in the outer territories. It was heavily defended, shields, weapons, fighters, everything they had. It was not enough. The human fleet emerged from Shadow Drive like a storm, 100 ships, all firing at once. The shields held for maybe 30 seconds, then they fell. The base below tried to evacuate. Ships launched from every landing pad, but the humans were waiting. They shot down every ship that tried to escape. Led a ground team into the base itself. They moved through the corridors like water, silent, deadly. Every they found they killed. No prisoners, that was the rule. No prisoners, no mercy, no exceptions. By morning the base was gone, 5,000 dead, and the marker stood in the center of the ruins. They were ours. This is for them. The empire was crumbling. Their military was broken. Their people were terrified. Their allies had abandoned them, and the humans were not stopping. The humans would never stop. In his palace, Lord looked at the reports of the latest attack. His hands were shaking, not from rage anymore, from fear. The humans were coming closer and closer to the... Soon there would be nowhere left to hide. "What have we done?" he whispered to himself. "What have we awakened?" He did not know it yet, but the worst was still to come. The humans were not just hunting soldiers. They were not just destroying bases. They were building toward something bigger, something final, something that would end the syndicate forever. And it was coming soon. It was called Prime. It was a beautiful planet with purple oceans and silver mountains. 15 billion people lived there, the heart of the syndicate, the center of their civilization, the place where everything had begun. And now the humans were coming for it. Admiral Ho stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Vengeance. It was the largest human warship ever built, 3 kilometers long with weapons that could crack a planet. Around it flew 500 other ships, the entire human battle fleet, every weapon, every soldier, every piece of revenge they had built in 6 months of darkness. "Admiral," the navigation officer said, "we are entering the system." "Good, drop out of Shadow Drive. Let them see us." The officer looked surprised. "Sir, we will lose the element of surprise." "We do not need surprise anymore. They need to see what is coming. They need to know their end is here." The human fleet emerged from the darkness like a nightmare becoming real. One moment, the space around Prime was empty. The next, it was filled with human ships, hundreds of them, all pointing their weapons at the planet below. They detected them instantly. Alarms screamed across the military bases, activated their defenses. Fighter ships launched from every port. The people looked up at the sky with fear in their hearts. Lord was in his command center when the alert came. His face went pale when he saw the sensor readings. So many ships, so many weapons, and all of them human. How, he gasped, how did they get so close without us seeing them? Their shadow technology, my lord, an advisor said. It is more advanced than we thought, much more advanced. Launch everything, every ship we have, every fighter, every weapon, we must stop them. The military moved fast. They had been preparing for this moment for weeks. Ever since the attack started, they knew the humans might come for them. They had built defenses. They had gathered their forces. They had done everything they could. It was not enough. The human fleet did not attack immediately. They just sat there in space, surrounding the planet like a ring of death. Then a message came through. Admiral Ho's face appeared on every screen on Prime. People of the Syndicate, he said. His voice was calm, cold, terrifying. 6 months ago, your military attacked our colony at 7. They killed 80,000 of our people. Men, women, children, families. They burned our homes. They murdered our loved ones, and they laughed while doing it. He paused to let the words sink in. Your Galactic Council called it a border dispute. Your leader, Lord, said our people deserve to die. He said we should learn our place. Well, we have learned something. We have learned that the galaxy does not care about justice. We have learned that no one will protect us. We have learned that we must protect ourselves. His eyes seemed to look directly at every who was watching. You touched our children, you killed our families, and now you will pay the price. Not with words, not with treaties, not with money. You will pay with everything you have, everything you are, everything you love. The message ended. Silence fell across the planet. Then the screaming began. The human ships moved forward. The fleet tried to stop them. Thousands of fighter ships flew toward the human line. Weapons fired. Missiles launched. The space between the two forces filled with light and fire. But the human ships were stronger. Their shields held against the weapons. Their cannons tore through the ships like they were made of paper. For every human ship that was damaged, 10 ships were destroyed. Commander led the fighter squadrons. She flew through the battle like a dancer of death. Her ship moved in ways that could not predict. She shot down enemy after enemy. Her team followed behind her, cleaning up whatever she missed. Push forward, she ordered. Do not stop, do not slow down, break their line. The human fighters broke through. They reached the orbital defense platforms and destroyed them one by one. The shields around the planet flickered. Then they fell. On the ground, the military tried to organize a defense, but there was nothing they could do. The human ships were too strong. The human soldiers were too good. The human technology was too advanced. Was on one of the landing ships. She stood with her unit waiting for the doors to open. Her heart was beating fast, but her hands were steady. This was what she had been waiting for. This was why she had trained. This was her revenge. The ship landed in the center of a military base. The doors opened and charged out with the others. Soldiers were everywhere. They fired at the humans with everything they had, but the humans were ready. They moved through the enemy like ghosts. Fought harder than she had ever fought before. She thought about every person who had died at 7. Every shot she fired was for them. Every enemy she killed was justice for them. The battle lasted for hours. The humans pushed deeper into the city. They took building after building, street after street. They fought back, but they were losing. Everyone knew they were losing. In his command center, Lord watched his empire fall apart. His military was being destroyed. His people were dying. His city was burning, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. My lord, an advisor said, we should surrender. Maybe they will show mercy. Mercy? Laughed bitterly. Did we show them mercy? Did we stop when their children begged for their lives? No, we killed them all, and now they will kill us all. This is what we deserve. The advisor stared at him. My lord. Leave me, all of you. Leave me alone. The advisors left. sat in his chair and waited for the end. But Admiral Ho had other plans. He did not want to destroy the entire planet. He wanted something more specific, more personal, more satisfying. "Find," he ordered, "find him and bring him to me alive." The human special forces moved toward the government center. Commander led them personally. They cut through the remaining defenses like a hot knife through butter. Nothing could stop them. Nothing could slow them down. They found in his private chamber. He was sitting alone in the dark. He did not try to run. He did not try to fight. He just sat there and waited. "So," he said when entered, "the ghost herself, I am honored." Did not respond to his words. "You are coming with us. To be executed, I assume." "That is not for me to decide." Guards took and brought him to the vengeance. He was placed in a cell and left alone. Outside, the battle was ending. The military had surrendered. The planet was under human control. The fighting had lasted 3 days. 3 days to break an empire that had stood for 1,000 years. 3 days to avenge 80,000 innocent souls. 3 days to change the galaxy forever. Admiral Ho visited in his cell. The Lord looked smaller now, weaker. The proud warrior who had smiled at the massacre was gone. In his place was a frightened old man who knew his time was running out. "Why?" asked. "Why did you do all this? It will not bring them back. Your people are still dead." Ho looked at him with eyes that had seen too much. "You are right. They are still dead. Nothing will change that, but this was never about bringing them back." Then what was it about? Justice and a message. A message. Yes, a message to the galaxy. A message that says you do not hurt human families. You do not kill human children. You do not attack human homes. Because if you do, we will come for you. We will find you. And we will destroy everything you have ever built. His face went pale. "You are monsters. We learned from the best." Ho turned and walked away. Behind him called out, "What will happen to me? What will happen to my people?" Ho stopped but did not turn around. "Your people will live. We are not like you. We do not kill civilians. We do not murder children. Your military is destroyed. Your government is fallen, but your people will survive." "And me?" Now Ho turned. There was no mercy in his eyes, no pity, just cold, hard justice. "You will face trial in front of the Galactic Council, the same council that did nothing when you killed our people. They will judge you, and then you will be executed, not in secret, not in silence, in front of the entire galaxy, so everyone can see what happens to those who hurt humanity." Said nothing. There was nothing left to say. Stood on the surface of Prime and watched the sun set. The city around her was damaged but not destroyed. Fires still burned in some places, but the fighting was over. The war was over. She thought about and she wondered if they would be proud of her or horrified by what she had become. She did not know the answer. Maybe there was no answer. A soldier approached her. "Ambassador, the Admiral wants to see you." Smiled bitterly at the title, Ambassador. She had not been called that in a long time. "I am coming." She walked through the ruined streets to the human command post. Ho was waiting for her. He looked tired. They all looked tired. But there was something else in his eyes too, something like relief, like completion. "It is done," he said. "Yes," replied, "it is done." "Not quite. There is one more thing we need to do." "The Council." "The Council. They need to understand what happened here, what they let happen, what they caused by doing nothing." Nodded. "When do we leave?" "Tomorrow. The fleet will stay here to keep order, but you and I will go to the Council. We will show them what their inaction created, and we will make sure they never forget." Looked up at the strange sky of an alien world, so far from home, so far from everything she had known, but somehow it felt right. This was where she was supposed to be. This was what she was supposed to do. "Tomorrow then," she said, "let us finish this." The sun disappeared below the horizon. Darkness fell over Prime. But somewhere in the galaxy, the Galactic Council was about to learn that the darkness was coming for them too. The Galactic Council chamber was the largest meeting hall in the known universe. It could hold representatives from over 500 species. Its ceiling was so high that clouds sometimes formed inside. Its walls were covered with the flags of every member world. It was a place of power, a place of history, a place where the future of the galaxy was decided. Today, it was a place of fear. The representatives sat in their seats and whispered to each other. Everyone knew why they were here. Everyone had heard what happened at Prime. The humans had destroyed the military in 3 days. They had captured Lord. They had done the impossible. And now they were coming here. The Speaker of the Council was a tall being from the species. His name was High Speaker. He had led the Council for 50 years. He had seen wars and peace treaties. He had watched empires rise and fall. But he had never seen anything like this. "The human delegation will arrive soon," he announced to the chamber. "I expect everyone to remain calm. We must handle this situation carefully." "Carefully?" a representative shouted from the back. "The humans just destroyed one of the most powerful empires in the galaxy. How can we be calm about that?" "What do they want from us?" another asked. "Are they going to attack us next?" "They are monsters. They are heroes. They are dangerous." The chamber erupted into chaos. Everyone was talking at once, shouting, arguing. The fear was everywhere. You could smell it in the air. Then the main doors opened. The noise stopped instantly. Every eye turned to look. Admiral Ho walked in first. He wore his military uniform with all his medals. His face was calm but hard. Behind him came a group of human soldiers in full combat armor. Their weapons were not drawn, but they were visible, a reminder of what humans could do. And then came. She walked with her head high. Her eyes moved across the chamber, looking at every representative, looking at every species that had abandoned humanity in their darkest hour, looking at every face that had voted to call the massacre a border dispute. The human delegation reached the center of the chamber. They stopped and stood in silence. The representatives stared at them. No one knew what to say. No one knew what to do. Finally spoke. "Welcome, representatives of Earth. The Council recognizes your presence." Ho nodded. "Thank you, High Speaker. We have come to address this council one final time." "One final time?" asked nervously. "What do you mean?" "You will understand soon. But first, Ambassador would like to speak." Stepped forward. She carried a small device in her hand. She pressed a button and a holographic screen appeared in the air. It showed images from 6 months ago, she began. This was my home, New Seoul, a city of 80,000 people, families, children, dreams. We had built something beautiful there, a piece of humanity among the stars. The images changed. Now they showed the destruction, the burning buildings, the bodies in the streets, the faces of the dead. This is what they did to us. They came without warning, without mercy, without reason. They killed everyone they could find, men, women, children. They did not care. To them, we were just insects to be crushed. The chamber was silent. Some representatives looked away from the images. Others stared with wide eyes. A few actually seemed ashamed. "I lost my husband that day," continued. Her voice was steady, but there was pain underneath. "I lost my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter who had never hurt anyone, who just wanted to go to school and play with her friends and live her life. They killed her. They killed her like she was nothing." She looked directly at. "And what did this council do? What did the great Galactic Council, defender of justice and peace, do about this massacre?" She pressed another button. Now the screen showed the council vote from 6 months ago. The words were displayed clearly for everyone to see. The massacre had been classified as a border dispute. No action would be taken. Both sides shared the blame. "Nothing," said. "You did nothing. You called the murder of 80,000 innocent people a border dispute. You told us that we were partly responsible for being killed. You let Lord walk out of this chamber with a smile on his face. She turned to face the whole chamber. Some of you voted against this. I remember. I was standing right here and I saw who tried to help us. To those representatives, I say thank you. You showed courage when it was needed. Her eyes hardened. But to the rest of you, to those who voted to do nothing, to those who were too scared to stand up for what was right, you taught us a valuable lesson that day. You taught us that the galaxy does not care about justice. You taught us that the only protection we have is ourselves. You taught us that we are alone. She pressed another button. The screen now showed the human fleet, the ships, the weapons, the soldiers. So we prepared. For 6 months we worked in silence. We built weapons you cannot imagine. We trained soldiers you cannot defeat. We created technology you cannot understand. And then we came for the... New images appeared. The destruction of military bases, the fall of Prime, the captured Lord. In 3 days we destroyed a military that had stood for 1,000 years. In 3 days we did what this council never could. We delivered justice. Real justice. Not words, not votes, not empty promises. Action. She let the images fade. She stood alone in the center of the chamber, small but powerful. Lord will be executed. That is already decided. But we did not come here to talk about him. We came here to talk about you, about this council, about the future of humanity in this galaxy. She pulled out a document. It was made of real paper, something rare in the modern age. She held it up for everyone to see. This is humanity's formal withdrawal from the Galactic Council. We are leaving. All treaties are canceled. All trade agreements are ended. All diplomatic relationships are terminated. The chamber exploded with noise. Representatives shouted in shock and fear. Some stood up from their seats. Others called for order, banged his staff on the floor again and again, trying to restore calm. "Please," he shouted, "please everyone, let the ambassador finish." Slowly the chamber quieted down, but the fear was stronger now, much stronger. Continued. "We do not want war with any of you. We are not monsters. We do not kill innocent people, unlike those who voted to ignore our dead." She paused. "But we will never again trust this council. We will never again believe that the galaxy will protect us. From this day forward, humanity stands alone. We will trade with those who treat us fairly. We will help those who helped us. But we will not be part of any system that abandons innocent people when they need help most." Admiral Ho stepped forward. His voice was deep and strong. "Let me be clear about what this means. Humanity is not hiding. Humanity is not running away. We are stronger now than we have ever been. Our fleet is bigger than any in the galaxy. Our technology is more advanced than anything you have seen. If anyone threatens us again, if anyone hurts our people again, we will respond the same way we responded to the..." He looked around the chamber slowly. "Complete total destruction." The words hung in the air like a death sentence. No one spoke. No one moved. The representatives sat frozen in their seats, understanding for the first time what humanity had become. Spoke one final time. "You asked me once, High Speaker, if humanity would learn their place in the galaxy. I remember those words. Lord said them too. Learn their place. Know their role, accept their weakness." She smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "We have learned our place. Our place is wherever we choose to be. Our role is whatever we decide it is. And our weakness, we have none, not anymore." She dropped the withdrawal document on the floor. "Do not contact us. Do not send ambassadors. Do not pretend to be our friends. You had the chance to stand with us and you chose to stand aside. Now live with that choice. Forever." The human delegation turned and walked toward the doors. The representatives watched them go in stunned silence. No one tried to stop them. No one called out. No one did anything. Just before she reached the door, stopped. She looked back one more time. There is one more thing, something you should all remember, something you should teach your children and their children after them. She paused. Humans forgive many things. We are emotional. We feel deeply. We make mistakes and we understand when others make mistakes too. But there is one thing we never forgive, one line that should never be crossed. Her voice became harder, colder, final. You do not touch our families. You do not hurt our children. If you do, we will find you. We will hunt you. And we will make you pay in ways you cannot imagine. Learned this lesson. We pray you never have to learn it too. She turned and walked out. The doors closed behind her. The chamber remained frozen. Minutes passed, then hours. The representatives sat in their seats, unable to move, unable to speak, unable to process what had just happened. The galaxy had changed. Everyone knew it. The humans who had been soft and weak and emotional were gone. In their place was something new, something terrifying, something that would never again be ignored or dismissed or attacked without consequences. High Speaker finally broke the silence. His voice was small and shaky. This session is ended. He did not bang his staff. He did not call for a vote. He just stood up and walked away. The other representatives followed slowly, each lost in their own thoughts. Outside the council building stood with Ho. They looked up at the stars. So many stars, so many worlds, so many possibilities. Do you think we did the right thing? Asked. I do not know, Ho admitted. But I know we did what we had to do. We protected our people. We avenged our dead. We made sure this never happens again. Nodded, she thought about and she hoped they would understand. She hoped they would forgive her for what she had become. What now? She asked. Now we go home, we rebuild, we grow stronger, and we make sure that humanity is never vulnerable again. They walked toward their ship. Behind them, the council building stood dark and silent. The galaxy watched and waited. A new era had begun. Humanity had taught the universe a lesson it would never forget. And somewhere among the stars, the spirits of 80,000 souls finally rested in peace. Justice had been done. Retribution had been delivered. And the galaxy would never be the same again.